We are talking about inequalities in one triangle, and we want to recognize and apply properties of inequalities to the relationships between the angles and the sides of the triangle. We also want to recognize and apply properties of inequalities to the measures of the angles of a triangle. So here, list the angles of a triangle with the given vertices in order from smallest to largest. You must justify your answer. So the way that we're going to justify our answer is we have to use our distance formula. So for the most part, we are going to be living in the first quadrant when we go ahead and draw this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sketch this in the first quadrant mostly. We just have 1, -2. So I'm not going to draw very much of the negative portion. And this is just a sketch, so it doesn't have to be too elaborate. I am going to put a 5 and a 5 over here. So for point A, it's at 5, 7. So 5, there's 5, 5 a little bit above. It doesn't have to be exact. For B, we're at 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1. So B is going to be right there. And for C, we're at 8, -2. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, -2. That's going to be C. So there is the triangle right there. Pretty accurate. Not exactly accurate, but get an idea of where the points are. And we'll draw the line in between. So there we have our triangle. Just give us an idea of what's going on. So we want to find the distances. So the first distance we want to find is the distance from A to B. So the distance from A to B and we have to remember the things that are never going to change. The things that never change in the distance formula are our large square root, our 2 parentheses that are both squared, and we have 4 dashes to make, but we need to make 3 signs. So if I put a plus there, and a minus there, that's going to be 5 dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I can only make 4. So if I put the plus sign in the middle, that's 2, 3, 4. Now I have my full equation made. Just have to fill in the values. So my A values are, the X value is 5 and the Y value is 7. For B, my X value is 3 and my Y value is 1. So we can go ahead and simplify AB. So AB is equal to 5 minus 3 is 2. That quantity is still squared. Plus 7 minus 1 is 6. That quantity is still squared, and that's still under the square root. So AB is equal to 2 squared is 4 plus 36. And so we can leave that as AB, the square root of 40. So figured out one distance. The next one we can check is BC. I'll put it right here. BC. The things that never change. We have the large radical. We have the 2 parentheses. Both of the parentheses are squared, and we have 4 dashes. So we're going to go minus, minus, plus. So those things never change. Now we just have to put in the points. For B, we have 3 for the X, 1 for the Y. And for C, we have 8 for the X, and -2 for the y. That's why I put that negative sign in already, to make sure that we get that double negative. Sometimes we forget to do that. So BC is equal to 3 minus 8 is -5. That quantity is squared, plus 1 minus -2, that's +2. So that's going to be 3. That quantity is squared. And then we get BC is equal to -5 squared is 25, plus 9. That is still under the square root. And so we get BC is equal to the square root of 34. Well, now we can see that BC is smaller than AB, so that's going to help us with our angle relationship. And the last one we have is CA. And the things that never change are large radical. We have 2 parentheses. Both parentheses are squared, and we have 4 dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can plug in the values that we know. Our x value is 8. Our y value is -2. For the a value, for a point, our x value is 5, and our y is 7. And then we can go ahead and solve for the distance of CA. So CA is equal to 8 minus 5 is 3. That quantity is squared. Plus -2 minus 7 is -9. That quantity is still squared. Take the square root. 3 squared is 9. And -9 squared is 81. Nine plus 81 is 90. So, based off our drawing, the distance from B to C is the smallest. So, when it asks us to label from smallest to largest, our smallest side is BC. So, the side opposite that is, or excuse me, the angle opposite that is angle A. So, angle A is the smallest. Next, between 90 and square root of 90 and square root of 40. Square root of 40 is smaller. So that is going to be angle C is the next small, or next biggest. And then last, the only one that we have left is angle B, and that is opposite CA, which is our larger side. So that's going to be angle B. And in this case, angle A was our smallest.